Hello! Today I'd like to share some tips for beginners in one military camp. The game is very beginner friendly, but there's a few things you might benefit from knowing beforehand.
Yes, sir.
Soldiers can change jobs as long as it's upgrading to a higher tier, but any other employee can't swap jobs after they've been hired. So if you hire a cook, that's it, and you can't change their jobs after that. You can fire someone, but you lose whatever job experience they may have got, so ideally you want to hire people who you plan to keep on that job for the rest of the game. So what makes someone good at a job? Each character has a number of skills that they improve and they can gain experience at the job. But they also have perks, and that can affect how quickly they gain experience or affect how well they do at missions. These perks are permanent, so it's important to make sure the character has the right ones for the job. It's pointless having a cook who's good at combat perks, but it is important to avoid cooks who sleep too much. And it's fine having a cook who is more likely to be wounded in combat, but a soldier with that perk is a liability. Make sure you don't invest training time improving the abilities and experience of a soldier who's not going to be a good fit in the long term. Two factors affect the character's performance on the job: their attribute and their experience. Most workers will improve their experience just by working at the jobs, so that side is fine. But you have to explicitly train them to improve their attributes. The training facilities you build for your soldiers can also be used by your camp employees. So sending your researchers to improve their intelligence and your cooks to improve their speed is beneficial. If you can afford it, then hiring an extra person is not a bad idea. That way you can fully man your facilities, but still have one person training their skills. Rotate them until they all have good attributes. Then when you upgrade the building, the extra person can also work full time. Missions require different mixes of specialties from your soldiers, but you don't get warned ahead of time, so it's wise to unlock as many tiers of specialties as possible and train at least a few soldiers into every specialization as soon as you can. This is useful to do because missions can have speed bonuses, depending on how quickly you do them, and the bonuses can be pretty hefty. If you can afford to invest in the extra soldiers and the facilities, then it's good to try and get the extra cash from the bonuses. Once your camp grows a bit, one of the most hands-on things about managing it is keeping your warehouses stocked. You get a notification when buildings that depend on them run out of supplies. But if you wait until then, you'll have to wait until the supplies arrive and the maintenance staff move them to restore service. On the meantime, your soldiers can't eat, can't train, and can't heal. That can be a pretty significant disruption. But if you unlock the second tier of a warehouse, you'll be able to automate the purchase of stock and minimize disruptions from running out. It's perfectly possible to do this manually, but if you find yourself a bit annoyed by the micromanagement, that's an option. One of the unique aspects about this game is noise. You have buildings like training facilities and warehouses that generate it, and you have buildings like residences and barracks that are affected by it. The best way to manage this is to cluster buildings by type. Group your living facilities in one side, and on the opposite side put the buildings that make noise. But make sure to link them with roads that keep the commute as short as possible for your characters. There will be a gap in between, and you can fill it with buildings that don't produce any noise. Most buildings have goods that they require, but those goods are delivered and stored at warehouses. So it's a good idea to place warehouses as close as possible to the buildings that use those goods. But you also want maintenance officers to be nearby to both buildings because they're the ones who move the goods around. The idea is to keep travel time as short as possible. But don't forget to also have extra maintenance workers available for other buildings like residences, because those buildings require repairs too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's 7 beginner tips that should help you avoid some pitfalls in the early game. If you follow them, you'll be saving wages by hiring the most suitable candidates for each job, minimizing disruptions from lack of supplies, and keeping your staff working as effectively as possible. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.